Hi, my name is Daniel.
I'm Dennis.
And we are husbands
And dads to twins Dean and Devin and furry daughter Zoe.
And this is our family YouTube channel, which is basically a time capsule of our lives the last 2.5 years. Can you believe we've been on YouTube for 2.5 years?
I can and I can't. It's been a lot of work, but it's kind of flown by as well. It's been a great journey so far.
My favorite part is to just kind of re-watch our videos and see how much our boys have
I know. That's the best part,
changed and grown. Like we've basically just about uploaded a video every week. Kinda, sorta.
Well, we skipped a few here and there because we just had life and we just couldn't post every week, but we've posted nearly 100 videos in 2.5 years, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, and last year, in 2022, we uploaded, I think, about 30, hold on, I wrote it down.
I think 31 or 32.
31 videos last year.
Yeah, so we were short just a few. There's 52 weeks, we're short like 20 videos, but that's just life.
Which we will get into that in this video.
There are reasons why.
We're going to recap our 2022 as well as talk about some things that we haven't talked about on our YouTube channel and
maybe give a glimpse into what we plan for 2023 or some goals that we've set for ourselves.
Now let's go. So the summer of 2022 was very difficult. I call it the no nap summer because there was no napping in this house. I don't know what it was, but the boys just didn't nap. And that was the hardest part for me in 2022 as a stay-at-home dad, just being with the boys 24 hours a day, not napping from the morning until night.
Yeah, because usually nap time is when you get a little bit of rest or get to catch up on, all the dirtiness that they create throughout the day and just making sure the house is in order.
Nap time was how I survived. Nap time is how I was able to get videos to you guys, plan, record. And when nap time went, I made the decision very early on to not post any videos for my mental health, because there was no downtime and it was just a very difficult time, and not only for me but for the boys too, because then the boys were tired. I could not get
They were restless and they were a little bit grouchy as well because of it. And I think that no nap summer escalated the school in the fall.
Yes.
We were thinking about it, and then I think that we needed to kind of get them on some kind of curriculum and get them back on napping schedules and all that. So that's how we came up with, let's get them in school,
which is part of what got better in 2022, but what was the hardest part for you?
Well, I didn't go through everything he went through because I wasn't home, I was at work. For me, it was just like the increase in energy. We always look forward to them growing, to seeing them change, to seeing them talk, and they've certainly become more vocal. They've also become energized, and I feel like it's just been endless energy. And now they're letting you know what they want, what they don't want when they're upset, and they do it quite often because that's that toddler life, right? So I think that's become more difficult. They're kind of restless. If you feed them something and they don't like it, they're gonna let you have it and they're not gonna eat it. Whereas before, they would just eat whatever we fed them, because now they kind of feed themselves, and if they don't want it, they're not gonna have it. So it's just, in that sense, it's become more difficult. But there's other things that have gotten better as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things that has remained the same is that it's ever evolving. So let's say we get used to a certain routine. After 2-3 months, that becomes stale and they need something new. That routine didn't work and you just have to evolve. So it's like a constant evolution and getting used to adapting to a different way of living. So what got easier in 2022?
I don't know about easier, better.
What got better?
He was asking me earlier, like, what got easier? I'm like, what do you mean easier? There's no easier. Things just change. Things have gotten better. You can get into what got better.
I believe what got better was the feeding. As you guys know, the biggest struggle that I have had the first 1.5 years was feeding. Like, it was hard to feed to infants, babies, toddlers at the same time, trying different things, just trying to get them use the spoon. It was just a disaster. I've never had to clean so much in my life, and it was definitely
and I think Devin was the most difficult in that sense.
Extremely challenging. And now it's not as hard because, not that it's not hard, but it's not as hard because they get the hang of it. They have their bowl or their plate and their spoon or fork, and they eat themselves if they're going to eat.
And if not, they'll let you know.
It is very stressful when they don't eat, especially coming from the background that we have as Cuban Americans. You know, in a Cuban American household, the way we show love is through food.
Yeah, which is the saying, estómago lleno, corazón contento, which is how we grew up. When you eat, that means that you're happy.
Right.
And healthy.
And we struggle a lot with making sure that our children are healthy and that they are fed
and that they have received a balanced meal, because sometimes they love to eat like snacks and stuff that's not necessarily healthy for them, but we want to make sure that they also eat like the lunches and dinners and a fully balanced meal.
But I will say 2022, the feeding got much easier. Not that it's easy. I think I just understand that when they're hungry, they will eat. And if they don't want to eat, that means that they're not hungry, right?
Right.
And we don't feed too many snacks in between or give too many options. Like, this is what we're eating. And I know you like this because this is your favorite.
Yeah.
So if they don't eat that, it's just overall, the feeding process for me has just been much easier because I really struggled with that. And what's yours?
Honestly, just as a parent, you worry about their growth and development, and you want to make sure that they're up to par with their age, and just seeing them talk so much more, and seeing them learn colors and learn the alphabet. And yeah, it's impressive. Every day they come home from school and they've learned new things, and they're telling you the things they've learned. And it's just a great feeling to see them develop and use what they've learned in their daily life.
I love that the boys now know who's Papa and who is Papi. So for the longest time it was Dada, or we were both Papa because Papi was they could not say it. But now they know the difference. And which is great because when they're screaming and they're saying Papa, I'm like, that's you. They're talking to you.
Yeah.
You know, and vice versa. If they're saying Papi, then you're like, okay, I gotta do whatever it is that they're, asking.
That's something that they just actually mastered. I think on our last vacation, we had a long road trip up, and we were just talking to them a lot more, and they learned the Papi Papa, because we kept saying, no, I'm Papi, no, he's Papa, and whatnot, and they learned
Papi.
it. Yeah, and then they learned it. I think
He's
Devin,
Papa. Why are you Papa?
Because that's what I call my dad. I actually call him Papa, but Papa. I just wanted to stick with that. The same thing I call my dad, I want them to call me. And then why are you Papi?
Because I'm my Papi.
Because you're the Papi. Okay. He's a Latin Papi.
So one of the challenges of having children is spending less time together, just us one-on-one.
Or just finding quality time to spend together.
Yeah, so it's challenging because we live together and I feel like we barely get the opportunity to talk. So you really have to make a conscious decision to carve time out to just kind of reconnect or have a conversation that doesn't have to do with the logistics of the house, our schedule, our children.
Yeah, or anything about the children. So when we do go out, we don't discuss the children. If we do, we'll do it in the first 5 minutes, and then when we move on, and it's about other topics related to ourselves.
Right, so this year we made a conscious decision to do more dates. Nighttime dates tend to be a little hard just because at the end of the day, we are both exhausted. But we did get to go to the Father of the Bride movie premiere here in Miami, which was a fun experience. Being from Miami and Cuban American, our queen is Gloria Estefan, so it was great to be face to face with her and watch her in the movie.
And we saw her and we took a photo with her, and it was great. She was really right next to us.
Yeah, we also did a fun mock-up video for a venue here in Miami. They were actually promoting gay marriages and chose us as the couple to represent it, to kind of encourage the community to have.
That was actually a fun thing, very fun to do.
And it was fun. It was kind of like reliving our wedding. That was It's gonna be.
It was
5
pretty
years.
effortless, and you can see it in our Instagram feed. We'll put it down below so you can check it out. But it was a fun little thing for us to do.
When we figured out that nighttime dates were not the way to go right now for us, we started to do more day dates where we've been slacking a little bit, but we need to get back on that bandwagon where we just get together either for breakfast or for lunch and just be able to catch up and talk about us and our goals and our dreams.
Yeah.
Because when we're home, there's so much logistics that happens in our household with 2 kids that a lot of times, well, the little energy that we do have at the end of the day is to talk about
Nothing.
talk about nothing. But if there is talking, it's just about what we need to do the next day for the kids, for the
Yeah,
house.
it's just very limited because I get home from work and then I have to continue the schedule. So we gotta either finish them feeding or they're already fed, and we gotta jump into baths, and we gotta jump into the nighttime routine and put them to bed.
Yeah, because by the time Dennis gets home, it's bath time, it's feeding. Well, no, not feeding time. It's dinner time for us.
Yeah, he's usually finished around feeding time.
And time to put the boys down. And
Yeah.
then when we put the boys down, we're like this.
Yeah. So when we put them down, he wants to start. He's like, "Oh, so how was your day?" And I'm like, "I don't even want to talk anymore. I'm done. I'm done for today."
Because, and I'll show a clip of what it's like to just change them. This was last week. I was changing Dean, and it was just like it became this fiasco.
I think he was enjoying it a little too much.
He was. In 2022, the hardest part of it for me was being away from my grandmother. My grandmother has moved to California, and it's already going to be 2 years. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
My grandmother is my life and my everything, and it's definitely very difficult to be away from her.
And I think for me, it's been just finding like some kind of balance in my life. Because I think that for the most part, I dedicate all of me to family, to work, and then there's no other time for myself. That's been hard. I kind of reflected on the past year and made a conscious effort that I'm gonna make a change for 2023 and kind of focus a little more on myself, just for my own mental well-being as well.
And then the best part of 2022 for me was being able to celebrate the boys' second birthday with my grandmother, my sister, and her kids. I remember the morning of the birthday party, I woke up and I sat down next to my grandmother and I just cried. Tears of joy. I was so happy to be able, because it's hard to travel with children, especially a 5.5 hour flight, but we made the sacrifice
Twice,
but for their birthday we did it, and it was just great for my grandmother to be able to be there, since we miss out so much on every other holiday.
because I think when she was here, you would see her often.
Every holiday.
Yeah. No, and more so like
And
whenever
pass
you
by
wanted.
whenever I could.
Yeah. So it was great to have her there for that milestone.
And it was definitely my highlight of 2022. And yours?
I think for me was when they finally started school. For me, I think education is so important for me. And like I said earlier, I want to make sure that they're, where they need to be. And starting school early on was so crucial and so important for me. So once they started, I was happy as can be. Yeah.
Me too.
And so was he.
It was a big game changer.
For different reasons. Yeah.
What I thought was, okay, now I'm gonna have all of this time and I'm gonna be able to do so much, which I was quickly let down because that first month they were sick all the time.
I mean, we were forewarned about that they were gonna be sick constantly.
So there was always one or both of them home because they had some sort of sickness, and then that would, Dennis would get it or I would get it, and that was very difficult and frustrating because I have all of these things that I want to take care of and I really couldn't, and it's just been an adjustment. But
yeah, it's been a learning curve, I would say.
But it's obviously very positive. The boys love school and was definitely a huge step, and very happy to continue on that journey with them.
Yeah. So favorite vlog of 2022, I think for me, well, we had 2 vlogs in Disney. We had Disney World and Disneyland, and those are my favorites. I'm a Disney aficionado. I love Disney so much. And then just being able to take our children to Disney is like a lifelong dream.
So when are we going back to Disney?
Whenever you want, we're there. We got Disney gift cards for end of year, for Christmas from some relatives, so we're ready to go. Let's go.
Let's go. My favorite 2022 vlog was celebrating their second year. So we took a hiatus in the summer and then we uploaded this video, and it recaps the second year of life, and it's such a beautiful video, and I took so much time. The video did not do well, I think, because the algorithm was like, oh yeah, you're not gonna post for 2-3 months? Well,
yeah,
I'm
that
not gonna show you a
algorithm
video.
is a little tricky, and it doesn't always, it's not always in our favor, let's say.
But I do love that video. I will link it down below so you guys can watch it if you haven't already watched
Yeah, or
it.
I'll throw it up here so you can click it as well.
What was your favorite video of ours in 2022? Let us know down in the comments.
Yeah, and let us know what you want to see in 2023. Like what kinds of videos, what you want to see us doing. Do you want to change? Do you want us to change our style? Like, what do you throw some feedback at us? Because we want to make some changes to the channel and see if we can get it going a little bit more for 2023. So throw them at us, throw them in the comments, and let us know. Give us your feedback. So what is our most viewed video of 2022?
Most viewed video in 2022 was our daily morning routine video. It has about 100 or almost 100,000 views, and it was a super cute video because it was Hispanic Heritage Month. So we dressed up the boys in guayaberas and kind of did what we normally do. For some reason, YouTube loves any type of routine, so you'll definitely be seeing more of our routine.
Yeah, I think it's because we go like in depth into what we do on the daily, and we do like a step-by-step of kind of what goes on in our lives, and people like to see and like to make comparisons with their own lives, so that's probably why the routine's a little bit better. And YouTube seems to push it a little bit more as well, because we did a follow-up with a nightly routine and it did relatively good as well.
Yeah. So for 2023, our goals are, what are our goals?
Well, I think for me, I have so many. I have like a list that I've started. Let's see what I can remember. Work less. So I've been like a workaholic for many years. You know, the company's kind of at a good state. I found some good employees this past year, so I can take a little bit more time off. So I want to work less, take days off whenever I can, leave earlier if I can to focus on my own mental well-being, get back to my exercising. Before I met Daniel, I was very fit. I was working out 5 times a week at a minimum. So I'm not saying I want to get to that, but I want to get to a place where I'm comfortable and I feel good about myself with my exercise and my body. Eat healthier, obviously. Oh, read more books. So I used to read at least 1 to 2 books a month years ago. And then so I want to get back to that. I want at a minimum read 1 book per month, read books that are uplifting and positive affirmations, books on mental well-being, just stuff to keep me motivated for my everyday life. Because sometimes it's hard when you're dealing with retail, with the public, they just kind of eat up at you. So I need stuff to keep me going, keep me uplifted, keep me happy and sane. So those are some of the things that I'm
being more on YouTube, right?
And being more on YouTube.
Don't we love him on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen? Didn't we miss him?
I think that if I can take a little bit more time off of work, I can do a little bit more for YouTube as well, which I've missed out in the past.
Oh, because your plate was full, and I think that
was full.
Mental health is extremely important and something that we need to keep on check. And there's no point of overworking either at work and at home. I have a lot more time, so that's why you guys see me a lot more. And a lot of you are just like, where's Dennis? Why isn't Dennis posting? And it's just like, because Dennis has a full-time job and it's a lot harder.
And it's my own company, so I have to manage. And I think because I have a good staff now, they kind of know what they have to do, and I don't have to be there as often. I can be more time with my family, with you guys, and just focusing on mental well-being.
Yes, very important in 2023. For me, I would love to start a podcast. It's on my goals for 2023. It's something that would be focused the first season on surrogacy. So after having gone through surrogacy, there's so much that we learn, and there's so much information that I would love to share with our audience that I think will be extremely beneficial, because it ultimately, it's what we learned and helped us have Dean and Devin. Definitely recording vlogs is a challenge when it comes to having 2 toddlers. They just can't sit still. As you saw from our Christmas vlog, they were just like screaming up a storm, which, for us, it's important to let our children be children. And if they want to scream and they're home, scream, But
yeah, we like to show them in reality. We don't like to only show the beautiful moments when they're happy and they're not screaming. you know, we show a little bit of everything.
But in the same sentence, do you really want to watch a video where the kids are screaming all the time? So we definitely have to see how we are going to continue to manage vlogging with toddlers. A lot of times you'll see me just doing a video because it's almost impossible to do it.
No, and I think if you're able to get that podcast going, you can do like behind the scenes. You can also post your podcast as videos. There's different things you can do, and we can keep the channel going. You know, there's so many things that we have planned that we want, you know, eventually we want to maybe build our own vacation home. We have a lot that we want to do, and we got to see how we're going to make it happen. So follow us, subscribe, like, share, so we can keep this going.
Yeah, for the boys, we definitely need to finish the playroom, which we started. Hopefully that this month.
I think we're going to do a lot more little projects and just share those projects. That's something that we really enjoy doing somewhat.
Well, I think our channel really is not only family, but our projects, whether it's decorating or redoing a room, the kitchen.
We want to get more hands-on, more handy. We're going to turn him into a handyman so we can...
No, that's why I married you.
We can do more projects.
You're the handy
So
one.
I'm buying more machinery so we can do more projects.
The boys, on their goals, we got to start them on swimming lessons. We live here in Miami, so safety is extremely important, and I'm sure that they will love it, and we will tell you all about it like we always do.
Yes, and I think we want to travel more in 2023. Take a trip back to California, maybe plan for another trip in the mountains at the end of the year, and maybe something in the summer. Or maybe a cruise in the summer, something like that. So we definitely want to do that. We'll vlog all of our trips and just keep sharing as much as we can with all of you.
Yes, sending you much love from the Marzoa family. The boys are currently sleeping, so we're gonna take advantage of this time.
And be quiet.
And be quiet.
Thank you all for all your love and support. Our channel has gotten nearly 3 million views at this point, and it's something that we really never thought possible.
Over 3 million.
Over 3 million. That's pretty incredible in 2.5 years. But we hope that we can keep growing the channel and keep sharing as much as we can with all of you. So
till next time, bye.